Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. As you can hear, I think that's a magpie in the background, just being loud. Maybe he sees a cat. It doesn't matter. Uh, what does matter is what I'm going to talk about next. I'm going to do a two-parter about capitalism. The first part will be a bummer, and then the second part will hopefully give some hope and some answers, and uh, yeah, just maybe a solution to the problems I see in the world. Uh, I watched it's called Capitalism, a Love Story last night. It's a Michael Moore film. A lot of you may be turned off immediately hearing Michael Moore's name and what he stands for. I'm complete opposite. I think the guy's doing heroic work in the name of the common man. If you don't know who Michael Moore is, he is a documentary filmmaker. He is an award-winning filmmaker. He has done such movies as Bowling for Columbine, Roger and Me, Capitalism, Love Story, Sicko. All these are basically movies about the little guy getting screwed by the big guy, and they're bummer movies a lot of the time, but there's also usually a message of hope within it, saying, "Hey, here's what we can do. Here's what the common man can do to get a little more equity in this world we've created." So, and I'm also trying to, if you refer to my last video, I'm trying to get more balance. Showed my yin yang tattoo, showed my twisted and sweet cup last time, and I'm trying to trying to get over these guys losing Game 7 last week. Boo hoo. No, I'm just trying to find a place in my life where I find more inner peace, and that's tough. Like, I just went for a walk. It rained really hard last night, and it's super humid right now, and I love it. I love humid weather, but it's already hot. It's already probably like 80, 85 degrees. It's only like 10 in the morning. Um, but I'm trying. Here's the problem, okay, and I will get to capitalism soon. The problem is living in the moment. Living in the moment's a great theory. It's also very difficult. I think I lashed out at that guy I told you guys about in the last episode because I was living in that moment. And there are times not to live in the moment. Yeah, when it's great and everything's going great. Like last night, I tried to live in the moment with my son Dante. We watched and danced to an hour's worth of YouTube music, mostly 80s and 90s. I think I've discussed that before. It's part of also my attempt to lose some weight. But it's a nice bonding moment I have with my 23-year-old child with autism, and it's also, like I said, it's good for me, and it's a chance to live in the moment. But living in the moment is not easy. I mean, that's what we got here, right? We've got this amazing human brain that can do amazing things and create amazing things and do amazing beautiful things and do amazing horrific things, obviously. And we also happen to be the only species that has to know that we're going to die. So living in the moment can be difficult. But I suggest you do it when you can. But sometimes maybe it's not best to live in the moment. Sometimes it's best to, like when I'm with my father. I'm not living in the moment. I'm looking towards the end, or as I call it, the beer at the end of the tunnel. I may well be an alcoholic in a month. We'll see. I don't drink. I usually stress eat, and that's why I have the problem. So on to capitalism. Um, I don't think everyone will agree with this, but I think most scientific thinking liberal minds will agree that capitalism is the main reason this planet is in a crisis environmentally, and therefore that puts us human beings in a crisis. Um, yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to see that this is a petroleum-based economy worldwide. Um, the pollutants we put into the air are causing the planet to heat up. There's no disputing this. The only, like, the 1 or 2% of scientists that dispute this are all backed by the oil companies. So there you go. And we're supposed to look at this horror show going down in the Gulf of Mexico, that pipeline that broke and has the ocean literally on fire, and just kind of blow it off. And just, why were there not fail safes in place? Why is there not a shut off where that could just be shut off, and fuel just doesn't constantly feed into this flame? It looks, I don't know if you've seen the footage, it's absolutely horrific. And capitalism is fine with that. It's fine, that's an acceptable loss. 73,000 homeless people for every billionaire is an acceptable loss under the guises of capitalism. Having said that, I kind of probably come off as a hypocrite because I've benefited from capitalism. I have an IRA that makes money off of working people on the other side of the planet, and even on this side of the planet. Uh, I'm not working to earn that money. I've invested that money. Investments are another facet of capitalism that's inherently bad. We've seen what happened with the Reddit situation and the hedge fund people and the Bernie Madoffs of the world, and the banking, the lending institutions of this country the last 20 years especially, but it's always been predatory. We've seen this country go from the 50s and 60s being a place where one man could earn a living for his entire family to saying, oh, well, you know what? I honestly, and this is not a sexist thing, but I think this is where women in the workplace, which of course came about because of World War II, women had to go to the workplace because all the men were off going to war. Not all of them, but enough that in order to keep the economy going, not only keep the economy going, but also to, arm those men, things had to be done here at home by the women. I think that once Madison Avenue came about, once the military-industrial complex started strengthening in the 50s, they said, hey, wait a minute. We don't have to have just one. These people are fine, both of them working, and we can pay them half, and the two of them can support a family. And we don't and all those profits can go to the top to us. So I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. That's my belief in women coming into the work environment, that becoming an accepted practice, whereas it wasn't before World War II. And then, like I say, I have nothing against women working. Don't misinterpret. This is about the people at the top going, oh, we can double our workforce and pay them half. Okay, and not our workforce. I mean, I'm not saying in the same amount of people in each business, but pay them half. That's how it works. I mean, honestly, you could look at it. I'm quite sure there are many charts that would show how and I've seen them actually. Not only quite sure, I've seen charts where the CEOs' pays keep going up and us fucking pathetic losers keep going down. Once again, another facet of capitalism. Capitalism gives a promise, and it's a very unkept promise. It's like gambling, really. I was dumbfounded over the last 4 years of the people that supported Trump and just didn't take into the fact, A, that he's a horrible human being, but B, that he inherited his money. Yes, he did something with it and made himself a billionaire. But did they not see that, don't you see there's only a certain amount of money to go around? Like I said, for every billionaire, there's 73,000 homeless people. For every multimillionaire, there's probably an X amount of people who only make in the thousands and barely scraping by. And these people that are barely scraping by and then supporting a billionaire, they just don't seem to get it. They're the people that go to the casinos. And they keep gambling, they keep gambling, they keep gambling, and they never win. Or they win once in a while, but they don't see that overall they're losing. Like, I see people on Facebook all the time. Friends go, hey, they show the little ticket. I just won this much money at the casino. And Jennifer Reedy, this is not meant for you, by the way. But it is meant for other people I've seen do this. I gotta believe, because this is a functioning working brain most of the time, those people that have hit that big payday have lost more than that in the past, because that's how casinos work. We don't have skyscrapers in the mountains of Denver or in the deserts of Nevada dedicated to these places because they're losing money. It's because they're making ridiculous amounts of money, and they can afford to put huge, fountains that are coordinated to music in the middle of a fucking desert because they have money that have come out of the pockets of millions of people, putting them into their slot machines, onto their craps tables, into their poker matches. That's why these things exist. And that's kind of the sad part of capitalism, right? It's like you're gambling, you're going to win. Like I said, I'm a beneficiary of capitalism. It's probably kind of bullshit that I'm bitching about it. But what the hell am I doing? But on the other hand, I've become more leftist in my old age, which is weird, but I do believe that as a human species, we should just be taking care of each other. And that means sharing the wealth. That means when you see an open building that's been abandoned, putting some people in it and just letting them live there for free. Who gives a shit? Why do the bankers at the top need billions? They don't. Okay, so part two will give hopefully a little more hope and some answers to not only capitalism in general, but the climate change that it has caused. There's part one. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.